If you don't change how you feel, you won't change your life. So I had this colleague, which I had a lot of issues with. And we were discussing and we were bickering about different things. We were arguing quite a lot, and it usually ended with me sitting like this while he was standing over me like blah, 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 And at the time I was in a tech startup and I was really in a bit of a crisis with the business and also personally in crisis with my personal relationship. So I went to a psychologist, and the psychologist did a technique on me, which is EMDR. And I went back to the feeling of me being bullied in school. And it was not a major episode, but I was watching that. It was impactful, and I was watching that, and I needed to also at the same time watch him move his pencil while I was feeling into that moment. And while I was doing that, I kept my focus on how I was feeling and on that memory. And then at some point it was done. It felt neutral after feeling this memory for a while. And then I went out of the session. I didn't see a lot. I didn't notice a lot. But then the next day I went to the office again, and I had a similar argument with that colleague. But it ended up with him sitting at his desk like this and me standing over it like, and now it's done. And I walked back to my desk, and I definitely sort of won the argument. And even though I don't want to argue with anybody, right? I went back on my chair and I was like, yeah, this was totally due to me visiting that memory yesterday and having that EMDR session. It was so clear to me that it changed my whole outlook from, retrieving, because, in any type of argument. And I totally naturally kept a strong frame. And that was so powerful to me, that experience, that I realized I had all this untapped potential here. That was related to feeling, not only feeling memories, but also just feeling. Because I've mentally rehearsed all these things and worked on myself in a lot of different ways, but I had never really visited the layer of feeling. And if you don't feel the feelings that are stored there, you can't really tap into your full potential, because all your hidden barriers or limits are usually in the feeling space. They can be in the mental space as well. They can be in the energetic space as well. But a lot of them are in the feeling space. So feeling different memories or feeling different feelings can unlock this for you. And like it did for me. And so I went back, I did this on a lot of memories. I visited it mentally through meditation, and I was able to shed so many layers of limitation, which was super, super freeing. And I had never really seen that this feeling layer was so important. And that actually feeling was something that you should feel instead of just think about and analyze and then come to the conclusion, it's because of this and I need to make a different decision. No, the feeling is still there. If I go into my head and I analyze how things are, I do not tackle the feeling because the feeling is still there. So if I want to change how I feel, then I'm going to, because it's a deeper layer than thoughts, I'm going to completely change my life. And this is what I found out after that psychology session, that session at the psychologist. So what's so powerful is I see that with my clients as well, that they have figured something totally out. They mentally understand something, but it isn't working for them. And that's because they're blocked on this feeling layer. And they haven't felt the feelings related to this. Or they're not aware of how they are feeling in the first place. So this all starts with being conscious of how do I feel during the day? What do I feel about this and what do I feel about that? And I don't have to analyze it. I can just feel it. I can just be with it. And that's something that's totally new for most people, is I don't have to know why I'm feeling this. Because if I'm feeling it and if I'm being with it, it'll naturally become clear why this is here, and it will naturally usually pass away. It will naturally let go if I accept it, if I be with it. So my feelings are super important and something not to pass. If you want more of these type of gems, feel free to subscribe, and maybe you'll recognize something that is inside you that you haven't felt. And if you want some guidance with that, then feel free to schedule a free coaching call where we can discover what it is that wants to be felt for you. Much love to you. Bye.